Okay, so I guess we can just get started. Okay, guys, this is Will Sherwood. He is a graduate from UT Austin, and we dug him out of Guadalupe under the bridges and brought him here today to you. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah. Hey everyone. Sorry, I was behind on the live stream. I guess I was actually 15 minutes and 40 seconds behind. So I was like, why are you starting? But okay, now it makes sense. All right, hey everybody. My name's Will. I just graduated from UT, and I'm just going to be showing you just a real quick, short, simple introduction to essentially, let's see, using programming to do like animation or like scientific computing sort of things inside of Blender. So first, let me just say Blender is free software. It's all open source. It's a 3D modeling program that comes with a ray tracing render engine. So it will calculate all of the lights and give you a really nice picture. So I just open, you can just Google how to install Blender and install it. Or if you're already familiar with Blender, that's great. But so you can Google how to install it, and this is what it's going to look like. I'm just going to go here and change the render engine to cycles on my GPU. That's just going to make things look nicer. And now the very first thing you'll see is just a ray traced cube just sitting here. And what I want to show you is, let me make this a little bit bigger. If I go up here, there's all these different tabs.
Wait, did you share your screen? Are you
sharing your screen? Is it not sharing? Is it not sharing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, everybody.
Nope, you're good.
All right, you can see now? Okay, so this is Blender. And right now, we just have a default cube. I just opened a brand new file. And what I want to show you is this tab called scripting. And essentially, it's going to allow you, if you already are familiar with coding and programming, like in Python, then you can essentially set up like a coded animation sort of thing fairly easy in Blender, and you can do a lot of like fun things with it. So let's just create a new script. And essentially the way that this works is, here I have my default cube and I can do all of my, like the standard Blender stuff, but anytime you do an action, like for example, I'll, let's just do Shift A and spawn a sphere. So now if I spawn the sphere, I can see in this part of the bottom, it will spit out the code that you would need to spawn that sphere. So it looks like you add a primitive UV sphere mesh, and then you can have all these parameters. The radius is 1. The location is 0, 0, 0. So I'm just going to copy that and put that at the top of my script and import BPY, which is BPY is just the Blender Python Blender Python package. So now, like, let's just set up a for loop and like make something quickly with the scripting. So let's just do something like this. Like, is that too big? No, probably not. So let's add a grid of spheres at location ij. Yeah.
Do you think there's any possible way you can zoom in? Because the coding in the script is just really small. It's hard to read. Also, yeah.
Yes, although now it's Is it too? Well, here. Okay, can you see this now? Can you see the script? Text.
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
All right. Okay, so let's zoom in here so everyone can see. Okay, so now if we were to run this, it just create a grid of, oops, unknown location. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can't do this in Python. Okay, here we go. So now if we just run the script, it should just make a grid of 32 by 32 of these sphere-shaped objects. Now it might take a second because my computer is pretty slow, but let's see. All right, 32 might be too big. Oh, never mind. So I canceled it midway, and you can see that it was making this massive grid of spheres, but I didn't quite let it finish. So now let's try something a little bit more interesting. So if we undo that, just delete all of these. Now do Shift A to make a cube. Copy this code. I just want to make them cubes because I think it's gonna look a little bit cleaner. Let's do like size equals 1. Now we'll do the same thing, except we're only going to place a cube if let's do something like this. So now I'm just going to filter on the coordinate, and this should make like a cool pattern that we'll be able to see once this runs. Okay, so 32 is not quite big enough for that. Let's do like 64. Oh, okay, I should probably change this. Okay, 32. Okay, maybe instead of filtering by this, we can just modify the height. Let's modify the height. So like something like this, maybe. Okay, select those cubes. Okay, now it's 64 might be too big because you're making 64 by 64 grid. So, but okay, if I just stop this, you can see that. Let me go into the layout mode now. You can see that it's creating this pattern of cubes as as essentially we showed, or we wrote in the function based on the height. So essentially, if you're familiar with Python, then anything you want to do, you can learn about in Blender. And there's lots of good YouTube tutorials and lots of good like resources online for this. And then you essentially, you just do the thing you want to do. Like for example, if I move this, now I can just go and look in the scripting tab. It'll show me exactly what the code is for the action that just happened inside of the screen. And if you just use that, you can build together a program and do you know, whatever fun thing you have on your mind for your hackathon. So let me just show you one example of a project that I worked on. Is I made a program that takes in a chess game, and then it will put all the set all the pieces up, and then animate the game at a certain speed. So let's see if this will actually run. Might take a second. So yeah, there we go. I just ran this script, and then it sets up the chessboard and all this stuff automatically. Now I'm not going to be able to do the render because my computer can't handle it right now. But if I scroll through, should be animated. Well, maybe this is the wrong version, but point is you can set up all the scripting and just do fun projects, and you can render interesting like random scenes, and it has like physics simulation too, so you could like simulate fluids or rigid body like things colliding with each other, and you can like if you have a super nice computer, you can make like a really fancy render, and your outcome will look really nice. So as for like tips for learning how to do this stuff, it's actually very straightforward now. There's a really good tutorial series on YouTube. It takes like an hour, and it shows you like all of the basics for this modeling program. And from there, coupled with the fact if you already know Python coding, then you can just like put those two things together, and you have a massive tool set at your disposal. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed that. If there's any questions in the YouTube, I guess just send them over.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind, like, you worked on some other projects too, if you also want to like talk about those, or the climbing one? I just want to see the climbing one.
No, I didn't make any more progress on that climbing thing, but I think this is just the best example.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
I guess like
I mean, I haven't done too much of this, but it's essentially you have a lot of stuff at your disposal here.
Yeah, I think if you can send me also like all like the links, and then also maybe like your sample code. Oh, someone asked a question. They asked you, how are you so big brain?
Oh my god. I don't know. I found this on YouTube, so I don't know how big brain that really is. All right, so hope everyone continues to enjoy summer hacks, and that's it. Signing off.
Okay. Cool. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.